Sorry about the delay there, folks. I was having a little confusion. Dustin, sorry about the technical difficulty there. I had the volume on my phone up. Yeah, it was. I was getting playback. Sorry about that. So, on to community accountability. I'd like to thank Dustin for putting that intro video together today for me. That was a beautiful video, showing the good and the bad. It shows neighborhoods where blight is involved and other neighborhoods where people are involved in their neighborhood and they take care of it. The premise of the show is the same as every night. It is about how we are responsible to help with the crime problems. In order to have a safe city, you must first have a safe neighborhood. In order to have a safe neighborhood, your block must be safe, and that all starts on your front porch. You need to step up, take care of it, watch your neighborhood, and give information when it's needed. Just be a good neighbor, and the crime will drop. It'll move to other areas. It'll all get tightened in. So, tonight I'm going to, what is that? Motorcycle outside the window. Sorry, folks. Again, it's only our third episode. We're doing a learning curve tonight. Tonight, our staff, we have on our soundboard, we have Ohio Barb helping out tonight. We have, as always, my technical producer, Dustin Hardy, over there at his station doing everything he can to help. We are broadcasting from Yowowa Studios in the old Niagara Falls High School in Niagara Falls. It's really hot in the studio tonight, so if you hear a siren, I'm right across from a hospital. They're not coming to get us. Yet. A couple of things tonight I wanted to cover early is people who are watching the show, people I speak to, they get the idea. They understand it. They believe it. They're trying to do it. How do we move forward from there? First thing you need to do is you got to get your neighbors. It doesn't have to be a block party every night. Makes it a lot more fun when it is, but it doesn't have to be. You don't even have to really like your neighbors to look out for your neighbor. Because if you keep their house safe, they'll keep your house safe. That'll keep the block safe. Everything from there grows. I'd like to say hello to Blake, who's watching live tonight. Thank you, Blake. And a few other people there. The Facebook live chat I have up. I'll be reading that as it comes in. The YouTube chat will be Dustin is going to be manning that. If there's some compelling comments, he will be joining in with that for us tonight. So back to what I was saying. Spreading through the neighborhood is how you do this. Don't have to love your neighbor, don't have to like your neighbor, need to protect your neighbor. The easiest way for crime, blight, and overall neighborhoods to fall apart is do nothing. And that's the easiest thing to do. Doing nothing is free. You don't have to put anything in to watch your neighborhood go down. Helping only costs time. You don't need to be out there putting any money into anything. I've been in some neighborhoods where nobody could afford anything. We were all pretty well broke, my younger days. And we still knew each other. We looked out for each other. We took care of each other. And that's the big thing. Communication leads to community. There's a reason they sound alike. A big problem we're going to have with spreading it is getting the next generation to understand. A couple of weeks ago, my daughter called in. Again, it was totally unplanned, but I'm going to keep going to it because she had the perfect call. And it was nothing I did to include her. She just recalled seeing it, seeing how I stepped up to help a neighbor. And it stuck with her enough that when she heard me talking about the show, she wanted to call in. And Elena, I love you. I see you tonight. No, you're not calling in again. But it stuck with her. So I know with her, in the future, she's going to be able to do this. She will be always involved with her neighbors. She will spread the word. She'll help her community. We need to teach our children this. If you are in a more questionable neighborhood, all you have to do is know one neighbor. Be seen out there. Talk to them. Say hello to them. When you get home after a hard day's work, sit on the porch. Sit on the stoop. If you're in an apartment building, just hang around in your parking lot by your car for a little bit. Have a cup of coffee. Maybe take out a folding chair. See people. Let people see you. When the criminal element sees people and they see people in good, they're not going to be as apt to take advantage of that neighborhood. And that's all it is they're taking advantage of our own laziness, our own fear. And that's what it is. It's fear. We're all afraid of repercussions. We're all afraid to get involved. And we need to step up and take care of it. Until that day comes, this is going to continue to be a problem. Today, I was lucky enough, I got out with some new equipment we got here. I had Dustin out running my cameras for me. And we did a couple of interviews. One I want to run tonight. The gentleman, I've known him most of my life. He was my 7th grade math teacher, actually. Didn't like him when I was in math. I don't think he really cared for me. I was a problem child for him, and I know it. Now we have a good relationship. I see him out in public. But, yeah, Dustin, let's roll that clip there of Mr. D'Amato and some of the questions we posed to him. Community accountability. This is Hugh Carroll. We're doing Man on the Street interviews. Right now I have Mr. D'Amato here. I've been blessed to know him a lot of years before. He had no idea I was doing the show, and this is a guerrilla attack on him.
It took me right out of Panera's, actually.
Yes. So, Mr. D, first question I have for you. In your neighborhood, how many of your neighbors do you personally know that when you're on your porch, you look out, you can see?
Well, actually, the last couple of years, I got to know quite a few because I do a lot of walking, 3-4 miles a day, and there's a lot of people that walk. So it's gotten to the point, when I'm out walking in the afternoon, I'm meeting people and we're constantly talking. It actually slows me down on getting my 3 to 4 miles in. So basically through walking and the amount of people that walk themselves, that's pretty good. When I first moved out there about 30 years ago, and there wasn't too much. Houses are being built in my area. It's in Lincoln Woods. Pretty much kept to myself, and then but I would say the last 4 or 5 years with the getting out and walking, and now I know people that live in most houses throughout the neighborhood just from that experience.
Okay. The basic premise of my show is that in order to have a safe city or a safe town, we need to start with the neighborhoods. In order to have a safer neighborhood, we need to start with the safe block, which all starts on our front porch. This sound like something that makes sense to you?
Oh, yeah. I think, getting to know the people, we look out for each other. I mean, and we did a lot of traveling before the virus and so forth, and the neighbors would know. I would say, hey, we're going away for a week or so. I'll keep an eye on the house and other people. We felt very safe because of that. But you sort of have to know your neighborhood, and in fact, one of the things I notice is we don't have a large police patrol presence in the neighborhood itself because it's considered somewhat safe, and the way people react, and so no, I agree with you.
Okay. Yeah. If there is something going on, say 2 a.m. for some reason, you wake up and you notice the house across the street's lit up when it usually isn't.
Yeah, right.
Do you just take a closer look to see what's going on, or do you just close the curtains and ignore?
No, we look over and we try to determine whether it's a problem. There's I'm thinking about calling the police, and that's happened in some cases that you're unsure. And No, I think everybody in this neighborhood pretty much looks out for the other person, and I think that makes a huge difference. And there also is a website, a community website that one of my neighbors, a friend of mine, actually started, and we don't ourselves partake in it, but a lot of neighbors I talk to do, and they do some social functions through it. And,
so basically more communication
to
make a tighter neighborhood.
Well, we had a situation where a couple during the political season where we had some political signs, some actually Biden signs, and then, that were taken down, and one of the neighbors, they had a conversation going back and forth amongst the neighborhood about the sign situation. So it's a way of communicating. We don't. There's a lot of young kids now in the neighborhood. When I first moved in, there wasn't. My daughter's all grown up now and lives on her own. But I think that makes it even better with the younger kids looking out for each other and so forth. Okay.
Now, one more question
Sure.
for you. In the other neighborhoods around the city,
Yep.
Such as in the impact zone,
Okay.
where the crime is much higher,
Yeah.
do you think that just the communication of neighbors would change
along with the
aspect?
I imagine, like I haven't where I'm living, I haven't experienced it, but I could see where, what's going on. It's the involvement of the neighborhood along with let's say the local police if there's problems would be a great help. I know it's some of the things that's going on nationwide right now. With they talk about defunding police, which I don't think they should ever defund the police, but they need that community action along with the police and so forth to make an effective or safe community. I would suspect.
Yeah, my theory on that is that police are not preventative; they are reactionary.
Yeah.
They cannot prevent because of the Constitution.
Yeah, they have to rely on people reporting, but I think if they interact with the community and the community trusts them, and like what you're hearing nationwide, and there's a mutual respect with the community and the police, they can probably in that case prevent things from happening. Just by the fact that other people know that if they do something bad, and the community is going to step up and with the police, that might deter them from maybe doing certain things. You see what I'm saying?
No,
I know the police can.
completely.
But if there's I grew up back in in the late 40s and 50s and 60s, and we had the police in our neighborhood, and they were patrolling, walking the beat and so forth, and we got to know them, and it always felt secure that you knew that they were there for you. That might have deterred things from happening.
Okay, thanks, Dave. I appreciate your time today.
Okay, is that it?
Thanks,
Thank you.
Okay, and that was again David D'Amato, longtime acquaintance, we'll call him. But yeah, me and David, we don't agree on much. We are politically opposite each other, but on this one, everyone seems to agree. If you get out there, you talk to your neighbors, you know your neighbors, it gets better. Everything can get better. Tonight, I'm going to open the phone lines up to everybody who's watching. The call-in number is 716-563-1710. Please call in. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, hearing from your ideas on this. So, a couple things here dealing with him. I know the neighborhood he lives in. It is a suburban, quiet area. I've had a few people mention to me that this works great in suburbia, but it would never work in inner city. I disagree. I think this works anywhere and everywhere in the world. Know your neighbor, no problems. It's honestly that simple. Get out there, spend the time, few minutes, whenever you're available. You're watching a show, you don't like the show, 15 minutes left in it. Go out on the front porch, look around. Maybe wave to a few people, say hello to somebody walking by. Just these little actions are actually crime prevention. And it's what's needed to be done. As far as groups such as Neighborhood Watch and other groups similar to that, where people actually structure, those are great. They all do their job. They let people know what's going on. But it's not needed if you already have a sense of community. A neighborhood watch will help build community. Tomorrow it's supposed to be a nasty weather day. We're supposed to have some very high winds. It's going to get ugly out there. Help your neighbors. If you see their garbage can blows across your yard, don't watch it go by and wonder if they're going to go find it. Pick it up. Take it back. Just that'll get you to speak to your neighbors. That'll get you to help. Once you get that open communication, you see each other going, when you're driving down the road, you'll wave to each other, and it'll grow. It always grows. And like I said, even in my neighborhood, I am not an angel. There are people in my neighborhood that don't like me. There are people I don't care for. But I'm watching out for them. And I'll continue to watch out for them. Well, since nobody's calling in yet, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm tagging in a 15-year-old for today. Today we had Dustin.
Hello.
Yeah, Dustin today was out and about in Lockport with me. We were doing some photos and some video for the opening segment.
Learning some history.
Yeah. Have you spent any time in Lockport before, Dustin?
I was actually born in Lockport, but then I think once my the second oldest brother was born, I think that's when we moved to Niagara Falls. So, I mean, I've been there a couple times going through there, and I've been to the locks and stuff, but I don't remember living there really.
Okay. And so, like, some of the side streets and that, I took you down the different neighborhoods, that was all new to you, right?
Yeah, some of the places to me, I don't think I've ever seen them.
One place, for example, was we were at Ultra Park, also known as Willow Park, which is where there's an old World War II artillery piece. I know you had a ball looking at that artillery piece.
Yeah. I think we got a picture inside the barrel, right?
Yeah, somewhere we got that shot.
Yeah.
Now, is that neighborhood much different than the neighborhood you live in here in the Falls, from what you could see?
I live in DeVoe, so I would say it seems like a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, nice, quiet, middle class, average working class.
Also, I don't know if you saw this, but in Facebook it says from William Bisher, we are starting a neighborhood watch. Join Lockport Community Watch.
Oh yeah. William, I've seen you posting that lately, and I'm a huge supporter of it. And we'll have to get together this week, William, and talk a little further on that. But please watch the show, share the ideas. You have a much bigger following than I do. So you can really help us spread the message of just community accountability and of people being responsible for their own house, their own blocks. So, as I was saying, Dustin, up in that neighborhood, that general area, it's not a whole lot different than where you live.
Yeah.
Other than, having a
A
6-inch gun facing down your living room door. But other than that,
just an everyday thing.
Yeah. Well, in Lockport, we have two large artillery pieces in city parks, and those are great. But that's the type of neighborhood where that's not a high dollar neighborhood. It's just average people, average everyday working people. But they know each other and they watch out for each other. I have a friend of mine that lives right across the street from where we were set up with that camera shot. Mm-hmm. And I know when something goes on, he's the first one out on his porch. And he's out there not just to watch, but to be seen, to be involved, and help out. When nothing's going on, he's out on his front porch. or his girlfriend. They're out on the front porch. They're seen. They're watched. Everybody knows that neighborhood has watchful eyes.
There is one thing that I did just realize, that there's one major difference that I noticed about that neighborhood and mine. I don't think there's one house in our street that has a front porch.
Really?
Yeah, I think we all we kind of have like a little stair type thing, but not really a front porch. We have a back porch, but no, I don't think any of us have front porches.
And you know, that's a shame, because I call it also the front porch mentality, which other people have commented that it's just the perfect way to think about it. The front porch mentality is you sit on your front porch at your place. You guys sit out in the front lawn. You see the neighbors, you know the neighbors, and it helps. It gets the word out that, hey, people in this neighborhood are keeping an eye out. As I was saying before we went to the video, I personally believe criminals, they take advantage. They take advantage of the apathy of people. People who come in and say, you know, not my problem. You know, why do I care? The person across the street has a problem.
It leaves them a free window.
It does. It does. And like I said, doing nothing is free. And everybody loves something free. So if you just sit there and you do nothing, you keep your curtains pulled, you're going to get what you're paying for. And the neighborhood will go down. It won't stay stagnant. It doesn't take long for the criminal element to discover a neighborhood that doesn't care. Where, like I said, helping, being involved, being a good neighbor, having a front porch mindset, it doesn't cost anything except a little bit of your time. You know, and everyone's got an extra few minutes to wave to a neighbor. It takes a half a second to, you know, if you know someone down the street's out of town for the weekend, go mow their yard. If you see a lot of leaves in the yard, go rake it for them. It only takes a couple of minutes out of your time.
A lot of times, because I do know, like most of my neighbors. I think I almost all of them, but anytime somebody's gone, a lot of times we'll park in each other's driveways to make it look like someone's home. That's
actually huge. I do that in my neighborhood. We had a couple of empty houses for a little bit, and I always made sure I parked in their driveways, especially in the wintertime. Even if I wasn't going to park there, I would drive in and out a few times to leave the tracks. That's actually a big thing. People don't realize if a house looks occupied, it's safer. That's a big deal. William Bisher has asked me to make mention here. He's looking for block captains for the community watch in Lockport that he's putting together, the neighborhood watch program. You can join Lockport Community Watch on Facebook. You can message Bill directly to be involved. To the best of my knowledge, he's looking for most neighborhoods still. But he has a list up on the Lockportians page and on Lockport Community Watch.
That's a really good idea that he has so far, that what I've seen.
It's a great thing, and Bill does a lot through Facebook. And he's trying to get out there. He's trying to message the communities, and he's doing really well. And Bill, if you could help promote me a little here too, I'd appreciate it. But this isn't a Lockport thing. Crime in Lockport's going up. Crime in the Falls is going up. Crime's going up everywhere. And it's not a regional thing. It's not a city thing.
It's a world thing.
It's a neighborhood thing. We're turning our neighborhoods over to them. More pressure. It might stop a younger kid. It may, just knowing that everybody for 4 blocks knows who he is because everybody knows who his parents are. Might stop him from throwing the first rock, spray painting the first wall, which is where it starts. Very few criminals start out as major drug lords. And I say we because I was one of them. I grew up in a cul-de-sac, and outside of a cul-de-sac, nobody knew me. So I had free reign. And I wasn't all that far away from an area that was had more closed doors than open. So it made it easier for me. And it was a downhill slide from there. It wasn't a difficult thing. So, again, folks, the phone lines are open. I know there's a few of you watching. Love to hear from you. I don't care where in the country, where in the world you are. If you're watching, you agree with me, you disagree with me, you want to call me an idiot, you want to tell me why it will work, why it will not work, call in 716-563-1710. And we'll get to you right away. I got an open phone here. So, yeah, that's one of the other neighborhoods we went to today. And I'm not mentioning the neighborhoods directly, but it was one of our first stops of the day. It was our first stop of the day. When you looked at it, the first thing that stood out to me looking down that street
Was the broken window?
Well, the broken window on a house. That tells me nobody's in there. That house was on a corner.
Oh.
That's a wide open neighborhood now because the corner house is empty. So I'm protected by the house. I'm protected where I'm standing. I know I'm not going to have to deal with an owner. The other one was there was a gray house there where their front porch was completely boarded up. It's an occupied house. Okay, I have a call coming in here. Let's see if I can make this work right. So I don't know. Is it okay? Blake, is that you?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Glad
Hello
to hear
again.
from you. Blake's another one I spoke to today, folks. I'm going to be running his interview at a different date. I'm going to actually, it ties into another show topic I'm doing, Blake, and it actually feeds into that show topic.
Hello again.
No, that's perfect. So as I was out in my front yard today, and we were, making the front yard a little bit prettier after it's been abandoned for over 2 years, the neighbor across the street came over, and he shared with me that a lady was walking into people's driveways. He took a picture of it, and he works for the sheriff's department. And he said, yeah, I called the sheriff on Wednesday, and we met. And it was just because I was out there on my, in my front yard cleaning up. So it's kind of funny that you're talking about this because, I'm new to the neighborhood. I'm new to the area, and I've already met 4 or 5 people. And here comes another guy just looking out for a fellow neighbor. So that was great.
That's excellent, Blake. And as I was saying earlier, you don't live in like a cul-de-sac, more affluential neighborhood where you're doing this project, do you?
I grew up in the suburbs back in the West Coast, and I did in South Texas. But no, this is right on a main street in Lockport. So very busy road, and ambulances and police are driving by multiple times a day.
Exactly. But yeah, you're getting out there, you're getting to know the neighbors, they're getting to know you.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's exactly what's needed. Now, the people that live behind you, Blake, on the other side of the fence, I don't know if you've had a chance to meet them yet. I know you've been busy on the build, and you haven't had to worry about that yard work in the back yet.
No.
But have you met any of your back fence neighbors?
The one that's not directly behind me, but the one kind of kitty corner, it was a for sale by owner, and I actually spoke to him before I purchased the house that I got. But that's the only conversation I've had with anyone behind me. But I've definitely, when I leave and when I come in, sometimes I make a little patrol late at night and just check out what's going on, on those other streets. So I'm a little bit more aware. Kind of kitty corner.
That's
it was a for
that's
sale
great.
by
And just
owner,
that little thing,
I
just
spoke to him before
circling
I
around.
purchased
Blake, can I ask you to move a little bit
house
away
that I
from your
got.
computer or
But
whatever
that's the only
audio?
conversation
We have a
I've had
delay
with
and it's
anyone
starting to echo.
behind me. But I've Definitely. That was my speaker. Sorry. When I leave
not a
and
problem.
When I come in, sometimes I make a little patrol.
But yeah, doing that little patrol lap.
Just check out what's going on.
Even if it's just you park in the back of the house, you walk out to the front, you just look up and down the street real quick. If you see somebody walking, just stay out in the front till they walk by. Maybe greet them. You don't.
There we go.
There we go.
We're good.
We opened back up. Sorry about that.
I don't know what just happened.
Technical difficulties. You gotta love it.
Yeah, everything just froze, and I couldn't do anything.
I keep hiring these old guys on the technical end. I got to hire a younger person.
Thanks for that.
Hugh, I'm glad we met today. I really love what you're doing for the community, and I hope to get a little bit more involved as soon as I'm moving in the next couple weeks. I really want to do my part and help get Lockport and Western New York rise up a little bit more and reduce the amount of crime for sure.
That's great, and I appreciate you being there. And with you being in that house, that other house 2 doors over, hopefully we don't have that same problem return again.
I hope so. Yes, for sure. Thanks
for the call, Blake. I look forward to dealing with you in the future. And
see ya.
Yeah, get a hold of William Bisher there too. He's doing good things for Lockport. He has been for a couple of years now that I've noticed. And
awesome. I will.
Yeah, he could really use a little help from you.
I will. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Blake.
Hopefully things don't freeze again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I couldn't even move the mouse.
Yeah, I think what it was because he had his playback going.
Yeah, because everything should be running normal.
That or it could have been Barb. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's pawn the blame on somebody but me.
Yeah, I'm passing the blame here.
Thanks.
Barb, it was your fault. Actually, we can blame Peter because he's not here tonight. Without Peter, everything's, the executive producer and studio manager there. He's not here to stop us from having as much fun as we want. So,
Fire.
Peter, we're probably going to destroy all your equipment or maybe pawn it. I don't know. Dustin said he needed a new laptop, so you might be short one. We'll figure it out.
I did.
I'm giving you an opening, kid.
Oh.
Take it. I don't ever have to worry about you, Dustin, going to the wrong side here because you don't even take the humor of being a criminal. When I was a kid, I would have ran out the door with that computer right as that was said. So, another thing, I've had someone else mention to me that they're thinking about for some of the rougher neighborhoods, we need to start doing street patrols. It's a great idea on paper. In person, please don't.
I feel like that's a way to put yourself into danger.
It is. On your own neighborhood, that's different because you know everybody in all the houses. You know which neighbors will come out to help you, which ones won't, which ones will call the police, which ones will grab a baseball bat. If you're just on a random street in a different neighborhood, you don't know what the outcome's going to be. Please do not go vigilante. It's a huge risk. And like I said, on paper, it's a brilliant idea. I personally love it. And I can see how it would be attractive.
I feel like if they were to do that, they should add like a restriction, so it should be around where you live.
Yeah, unfortunately, with groups like that, it doesn't stay that way.
Oh.
And there's a lot of other issues that can come from those types of groups. And an individual out there as a vigilante is a criminal. They're just a criminal with a different mission. Patrol your own neighborhood. So for like what Blake was just saying there on the call, he takes a drive around the block. He walks out to the end of the street. I do this too. But every single house I go by, I know the people that live there. If there's something out of place there, I'm going to approach them. because that's not street patrol, violent vigilante. That's being a neighbor. And that's what we need to get back to. If you live in an apartment complex, this is something I've heard, that you can't do it. Well, yes, you can. If you live in row housing type apartments where you have an outdoor entrance, know everybody in the building. You all share a front yard and a backyard. If you live in a high-rise building, know everybody on your floor.
I feel like with apartments, it would be easier because you guys could take shifts.
Well, oh, wow, I didn't realize that before. Sorry, Dustin. My soda disappears.
I didn't realize that until you showed.
That's so cool.
I forgot it's green.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't even need to do shifts if you know each other. That's all you need. Most of our public housing has private entrances. You can easily know everyone in your building. From one end of the building to the other, everyone you share a courtyard with. Regular apartment complexes, again, the smaller ones know everybody in the building. The bigger ones know everybody on your floor. And then you can watch out for each other. I used to live in a 10-story apartment I was on the 8th floor in downtown Buffalo. Amazing place, great view. I knew a lot of the people in the building because I'd see them in our common area. I'd see them in the parking lot. They knew my truck. I knew their vehicles. We watched out for each other. Now, we still had car break-ins out there, and that's an ongoing problem everywhere. But it's also where it all starts. Someone broke into my truck one night there, took some tools. I spent the next 3 nights sitting in the parking lot waiting, hoping they came back.
Did they come back?
No.
Oh.
No, they got lucky and they didn't. But I was out there hoping they came back. You know? Because if I would have just said, oh, well, my tools got stolen out the bed of my truck and not been out there, that's giving in. That's taking the easy way, the lazy way, the free way. And the free way is never the right way. I invested my time, and it was out of anger. And I'll be honest, I'm glad they didn't come back because I was so angry. At the time, I didn't have a lot of money, and they were my own personal work tools, and I couldn't work without my tools. They made the mistake of leaving my crowbar in the truck, and I had that in my hand. I'm glad they didn't come back because I would have probably been in prison for a long, long time. But
That's probably a sign.
oh, nope, spam caller. So somehow my phone number's gotten on there. If I would have answered that, we would have found out that, my auto warranty is wearing out. Which, by the way, if I ever find those people, it's vigilante time.
Dun, dun, dun.
God, we need Peter on
We have the
sound.
next Batman.
No, only for the idiots that want to call and tell me that my extended warranty and my student loans need attention.
Oh, so pretty much Peter.
Oh, he may. But
I get scam callers a lot. Like I for some reason, like the past month or whatever, I've been getting calls about my car's warranty. My car has like something about my
your
car
car's
insurance.
extended warranty.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another caller here from out of town. So let's see. Is it an extended warranty call? Hello, you're on Community Accountability.
Hello there, sir. Yes, it's so great to be a part of this amazing project.
Thank you so much, and thank you for not being an extended warranty call as we were just chatting about. What's your first name, caller?
Yeah, this is Jamie Thompson.
Jamie? Okay, just so I know who I'm speaking with, I just need a first name. Thank you. So Jamie, in your neighborhood, how many people do you know on your block?
Oh, I'd say I know about, let me see, 4 people. It's not a very big neighborhood.
Okay, now is that the whole neighborhood, or is that just 4 people that you know?
Just 4 people in the whole neighborhood,
Oh,
yeah.
there you go. So you know them all. So,
Yeah.
Easy for you.
yeah, makes it a lot easier in the small neighborhoods. Now,
Yeah.
and like I said, this idea of mine, it's not a new idea. It's not my idea. I'm just taking it to a public standpoint.
It's so great to have gay people in the community. Even if they're older, we can all come out.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't catch what he said.
Oh, yeah, that call just ended. That definitely went somewhere I wasn't planning.
I think
we'll
I know
talk
what he
after
said,
the show,
but
so, but yeah, just even if it was could have been a prank call there, but just to be factual of know your neighbors. You got 4 people in your neighborhood, know them. That's a big thing for people, and that call just threw me off my rhythm.
you got this.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out here. So, but yeah, back to the street patrol idea. So, don't patrol your neighborhood, know your neighbors, check on them. As far as the violent crime upticks we've had across the country in the last few weeks, last few months, they are going to start to diminish now. And this is something I was talking with last week's guest after the show about Paul Beekman, retired law enforcement officer. As the weather turns, violent crime goes down. And what it is criminals, they're lazy. Every criminal is lazy. You're taking the easy way, the shortcuts.
That's why you're a criminal.
That's why you're a criminal. Partially.
Well,
But
yeah.
In the summertime, violent crime is easier. Drive-bys are easier because people are outside. The weather's changing. People are going to go inside. The opportunity won't be there. Where, like in the summertime, you got 15 guys on this corner, 15 guys around a few blocks down on that corner. And the opportunity's there because they're out. The opportunity to steal out of cars is more in the summertime because people do more in the summer. There's things in their cars. So in general, property crime, violent crime, everything's going to be dropping here over the next couple months. Don't believe it means it's dropping. It's not getting worse. It's not getting better. It's
just on
taking a
halt.
break. It's just going on winter vacation, basically. When the weather gets warmer, it will be back, and it will continue again. And it will get worse every year unless a neighborhood comes together to stop it. And another thing, I personally don't believe violent crime. I know the stats show it's gotten worse, but I don't believe it's gotten that much worse. I believe what a lot of it is social media.
Yep, social media definitely plays a big part in that.
Right. What it does is it allows us to open up. And what used to be you'd read about in the paper one time, you'll now have on your Facebook, you'll see 50 posts over a week and a half about it.
And a lot of times, isn't it just a smaller crime?
The smaller stuff, yeah. A break-in to a car, or a robbery, a burglary. But you'll see it continually repeated on social media, which will give you the impression that it's crime. That's it. There's nothing more. I've had people tell me Lockport is just such a bad, evil, crime-ridden city. And I fight them on that. I fight tooth and nail on that.
Even just, I mean, if it was such that crime-ridden city that people are making it seem like, if I would have went there, I don't think I don't think we would have been able to film there.
No. If what you heard about Lockport is what Lockport was about,
we wouldn't have the whole picture montage at the beginning.
Our opening sequence wouldn't be there. Because we're in a couple areas, and I went up to a couple people in those areas looking to do interviews because I really wanted to talk to people. And what bothered me was no one wants to talk. Everyone wants to be quiet. The one street we were on, I went down to talk to the guys, and they were adamant. Didn't want to be filmed, didn't want us shooting down that street, didn't want us in that neighborhood. Oh, I don't care. You're on a public street. There is no privacy in public. But, so we still shot the footage. But, yep, they didn't want nothing to do with it. Leave me alone. Don't bring me into it. I don't care. By the way, there's been shots fired on that block this summer. Pretty much right where we were standing. There was shell casings found.
Oh.
Yeah. Most of the problem's been run out of there since then, but the neighborhood still has that theory. Leave me alone. I don't want to get involved.
So I know we were talking about this earlier, but I have a question. How can you tell what neighborhoods are probably going to be filled with like more crime than others?
Well, the first thing is the obvious. That broken window I pointed out. That porch that was painted with obviously leftover mixed paint and completely boarded up, so there was no way the people from that house could see out. That's a big giveaway. The little stuff shows. Renters, I don't ever want to speak down against all renters because up until 5 years ago, I was one. And but I was heavily involved in every neighborhood I lived in.
We're also one too.
Yeah. But when you see some of these old 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 square foot houses that have been converted, they were single family homes at one point, and they've been converted into 5, 6 apartments. Pay attention to that. If the overall neighborhood appears to be good condition, and you've got a couple of those houses in there, they're probably good tenants. But if you see a broken window on this house, and the next one you see what was obviously a very large single-family home at one time that now has 6 gas meters hanging off the side of it. And then the next house up is just boarded up and obviously empty. You're coming into an issue. It's showing you that the people don't care. If you don't care for your front porch, you don't care for your property,
you're not going to care for others.
Yeah, you have no compassion whatsoever for the rest of the neighborhood. And like I've said before, I'm pretty sure I'm the bad neighbor in my neighborhood. I have 7 motorcycles in the driveway. I've got an old Thunderbird in the garage that's being rebuilt. And the porch is peeling. The paint on my porch is peeling because I just haven't had time to get around to it this year. So I'm responsible for that, but I am not. The rest of the neighborhood doesn't reflect my house being the ugly house. And we're trying. We're trying to get everything caught up. I bought from a very elderly gentleman. He was 100 years old. He bought the house originally in 1940. So I'm trying to bring the house up. I'm doing a lot of work on the inside, so the outside looks bad. But if you look at my overall neighborhood, you can just tell by looking. People care. All the lawns are mowed. The sidewalks aren't covered in leaves this time of year.
Not boarded up.
Yep, we have one house at the end of the street, which is in landlord gray, which is a weird thing in a lot of cities I've seen, the older rundown houses converted to apartments are often painted this darker shade of gray.
I don't know.
I don't know why, but
yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
But if you look around, and now you pay attention to this, and everyone else out there, you pay attention to this, you'll notice it. Landlord gray, I call it. So those are giveaways. We have one on our block that's in landlord gray, and it's an empty house. And I've got to go close the front door and nail it shut tomorrow because I've noticed again it's been left open. And I'm not going to leave it like that. That's inviting a problem. So a couple things I want to get into. Crime of the week real quick.
Hang on, I got to pull up this
I'm
thing.
sorry. Actually, you don't need to worry about it. I don't have an actual crime of the week.
Oh, okay.
What I do have is just a warning. We're getting into the holiday season. Porch pirates are out there. If you have a Ring doorbell and your neighbors mentioned they had something taken off their porch, go back and check your Ring doorbell. Help your neighbor out. If they've been robbed, you might be able to get a plate number. You might be able to get a photo of the person. And you can relay it to the police.
Wait, what do you mean by the Ring
doorbell? It's a doorbell system that's available that actually has a camera on it.
Oh.
You walk up on someone's porch, and it automatically goes off.
So the doorbell goes off if somebody's on your porch?
Yep, one of my neighbors have it, and a couple nights ago, his Ring doorbell notification on his phone went off because there were deer eating his bushes. He wasn't too pleased with that. But, yeah, if you have video in front of your house, please help your neighbors. Also, with the holidays coming, the car thefts, the car break-ins are going to be more common. Please don't leave valuables in your car. Locks only keep honest people honest. Somebody sees a package in your car, they want it. Your doors being locked won't stop a piece of glass from being shattered. Be smart. When you dispose of your boxes that come from Amazon or from Best Buy or wherever, break them down, put them in the recycling bin. Don't just set them out so people can see that you just got a brand new 70-inch flat screen. You're making yourself a target. So
plus, then you got to deal with it later.
Yeah. Plus, you still got to clean it up because they're not going to take it. But, yeah, just keep that in mind coming into the season. This is the time we'll go through this. Another note I'd like to make, December 6th, I haven't told you yet, Dustin, I'm sorry. You got the night off work.
Oh, okay.
December 6th. I have a fundraiser that I have to attend.
Okay.
With some of my friends that are involved with the motorcycles. So we have that event, so I won't be here.
I'll be probably sleeping or something. No, I'll probably be playing video games.
Yeah, you'll be sitting at home playing video games.
Yeah.
Come on, we all know it. The only reason you're here is to avoid video games.
I like working the show. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I wouldn't have. I mean, if that was true, I wouldn't have volunteered to come out and shoot videos and stuff for you for the whole day.
That's true. I didn't pay him for doing any of the work today. He did it because the message is resonating with him. Another thing I want to cover real quick here is advertisers and advertising. Here at Yowowa Studios, they're able to assist with making any advertisement that you want to do. Not just my show. There's several other shows out of the studio. We can all assist. You can call me at the number that was posted. You can message me on Facebook, and we can discuss advertising. My rates are a lot cheaper than other methods of advertising, such as regular media. And our reach is just as good. Our first episode, we had just under 1,000 views. Last week's episode, we had almost 1,400 views.
Oh my! It rose that fast. When you showed me earlier, it was at 1,100.
It's growing.
Wow.
Okay, something just happened here to our video on my phone.
Oh, we're still good.
Are we still rolling?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're still good on Facebook.
Okay, I'm shutting it off then. So yeah, contact me for advertising. Advertising rates, our numbers are up there. Our ratings are, our viewership is actually pretty good. I can help everybody with that. We can work something out here at the studio. And one final note, and I'm going to actually wrap a minute or two early here tonight because Dustin's had a long day. I had him in Lockport at 10 a.m., which...
I never get up at that time.
Yeah, for a kid, that's the middle of the night. But one other mention. The studio here, it's run by Peter Green. He's also my executive producer. He's
also my boss.
Yeah, he's your boss. He's pretty much my boss. It's my show, but he runs it. His father, James, 96 years old, isn't expected to make it through the night. Our prayers are with Peter. They're with James. The man's lived a good, long life. And he's, according to Peter, he's pretty much decided, his father has decided it's time for him to go home. Unfortunately, Peter's father lives in Canada, and because of COVID and the quarantine restrictions, he's not going to be able to be there with his father when he passes.
I feel bad.
That really tears me up.
Yeah.
Our thoughts are with you, Peter. Anything that anyone from the show, the studio, or the general public who knows you can do, don't ever be afraid to ask any of us. We're all here for you, just as you're here for us.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'd like to wrap up for the night. Community accountability. It's been a fun night. We got a couple of calls there, and I like the way it went. And Dustin, thank you for joining in tonight on the video and on the mic. I appreciate it.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Hey, it happens. It's 3 weeks in a row. We've had a little glitch. We haven't had a major one. I'm doing good. I'll see you all next week, 7 p.m. We're here live after the show's over. It's available for streaming on demand on YouTube and Facebook Live through our Facebook page, through the Yowowa Media page. Share if you like it. Comment. We're open to comments all the time. I have a message button on the Facebook. Shoot me a message if you just want to pass one on. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Dustin, let's wrap.